What's going on, friends? Logan Myers here for Cinephellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing the brand new show that was just released on the DC Universe streaming platform, the third show they put out on this platform. They're really pushing this universe with Jeff Johns associated with these shows. I'm really excited to see what they do with a lot of other characters that, maybe the general audience is not familiar with. So I checked out the pilot episode of Doom Patrol. I've been seeing all the trailers, teasers, things like that. I've been really interested. I saw a few reviews from the critics, really praising the pilot episode. I'm not too familiar with these characters, but I was really interested and intrigued to see what they do with this pilot episode. So in the beginning we have Mr. Nobody. It's played by Tudyk. He's narrating this story, kind of introducing the characters, and it's super funny. It's definitely an R-rated show because there's a lot of profanity early on, and it was cool to see him and hear his voice in this pilot episode. I'm a huge fan of Firefly. Huge fan of this actor, so I was really excited that he's associated with Doom Patrol. And we're introduced to Brendan Fraser's character. I'm a huge fan of this actor. He's been given a lot of shit. He lost a lot of money. I just feel really bad for the guy because he was a pivotal part of the 90s and my childhood. Lots of great films, and I just saw The Mummy. It was on TV last night, and I'm like, this movie's still pretty good. It's a lot better than that piece of shit Mummy movie that Tom Cruise did. Brendan Fraser is playing Cliff Steele, Robot Man. Early on in the episode, you can see this guy's a piece of shit. He's cheating on his wife with the nanny. He seems like he's pretty rich. He's a race car driver. He just has a huge ego and a douchebag. And early on in the episode, it kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth. This guy was up to no good, and everything that he gets, he deserves. But that all changes throughout the episode. And this is very much an origin story of Cliff Steele, Robot Man, and the rest of the characters in Doom Patrol. And we're introduced to Larry Trainer, Negative Man, played by Matt Bomer. He was in American Horror Story, a bunch of other stuff. Reminded me much like, the Universal Monsters, the Invisible Man, the way he looks. And then we're introduced to Elasti-Woman or Elasti-Girl. The CGI with her character is really interesting. It reminded me a lot of The Blob or The Thing. Essentially, when her mood changes, she turns into this huge, big blob sort of thing, or a big tub of ice cream. And it's really cool how they did the effects of this character. Again, I don't know much about this, but it definitely reminded me of a lot of old school horror movies and how she changes. And it's really cool, and her face kind of deforms and turns into this blob. Is really, really well done. Then we have Crazy Jane, played by Diane Guerrero. She was also really torn. I'm not going to say much about her character, but really interesting, and her coming across to the rest of the Doom Patrol. They really set up all these different stories of how they, their origin stories of how they got their powers, how they met, things like that. And then you have James Bond himself, 007 story, and he's really great too. I love this actor. I loved him on Petty Dreadful, that was on Showtime, and now it's on Netflix. It's really cool seeing Chief's character and how it all works with the Doom Patrol. And a lot of the story of the first episode of the pilot, like I said, is about Cliff Steele, what happened to him and exactly how he became this robot. This asshole dude that doesn't really care for his wife. He does a lot of bad things. He has a kid. And gets into this accident and basically dismantles his entire body, and all they can really save is his brain, so they put his brain into this robot, becoming the Robot Man. And you have Brendan Fraser doing the voice of Robot Man when he actually transformed into this character. And he's really torn. He's hurt. He's trying to remember things of the past, things that he tried to fix. He tried to stop being an asshole. And you get flashbacks of before the accident of what actually happened to him and his family, and it's really heartbreaking. As an audience, your total outlook on this character changes throughout the hour. Early on, they just depict him as this asshole, but there's more to him and things that he tried to do before the fatal accident. So overall, with the Doom Patrol, not knowing much about this, going in with fresh eyes, I had an absolute blast with this. The tone of the show is completely different, really, than any other shows in the DC universe or any of the movies. I'm not a huge fan of the recent DC movies. Aquaman was good and Wonder Woman, but Justice League and all that other shit was just pretty terrible. So I feel like they're trying to do something fresh, going about it in a Suicide Squad kind of manner, but better, if that makes sense. So I really had a great time with this. The way they directed it, the use of heavy profanity and nudity, which is kind of shocking to me. I figured they wanted to direct this towards, teenagers, but it's definitely an R-rated show, which I appreciate. They're able to do a lot more in terms of violence and what Deadpool did with the Marvel Universe. I think they're trying to go at it at a darker approach, much like the comics. I love the cast of the show. I really love Brendan Fraser, bringing him back. He's had a hard time. It's great seeing him play this character, Robot Man, Cliff Steele, how torn he is and things he's coming across, you know, years later after this accident. And the rest of the cast is fantastic too. And see what's going to happen to all these characters and what they're going to come across in the first season of the show. So if you guys haven't already, definitely check it out. It's on the DC Universe streaming platform. I think it's released every Friday, so definitely check that out. I'm going to give the pilot episode of Doom Patrol a 4 out of 5 Robot Man hair pieces. So if you guys have seen the pilot episode of Doom Patrol, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Who's your favorite character? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Meyer signing out with the Doom Patrol. Until the next video review. Cheers!